Commander Maya Rodriguez stood at the bridge of the TNS Hyperion, her dark eyes fixed on the massive holographic display showing the approaching Valdorian fleet. Their ships resembled crystalline structures, beautiful but deadly, stretching across space like a web of frozen lightning. The tension on the bridge was palpable, but not for the reasons the aliens might have expected. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies, Commander," Lieutenant James Chen reported, his fingers dancing across the neural interface panel. "Same message as before. Surrender or face extinction." Maya allowed herself a small smile. "How many ships in their fleet, Lieutenant?" 217, Commander. Mostly heavy cruisers with what appears to be antimatter weaponry. Their energy signatures suggest technology about 50 years behind our public capabilities. The key word was public. Humanity had learned long ago to keep their true technological achievements hidden. The Valdorians, like many other aggressive species before them, had made the critical error of assuming that Earth's visible technology represented their actual capabilities. "Open a channel," Maya ordered, straightening her uniform. "Let's give them one last chance to reconsider." The main screen flickered to life, revealing Supreme Commander Vexthor of the Valdorian Empire. His crystalline exoskeleton gleamed under the lights of his command center, faceted eyes regarding Maya with obvious disdain. "Your response time is inadequate, human," Vexthor stated, his translator converting his crystalline resonances into English. "We expected your surrender transmission 17 minutes ago." Maya leaned back in her command chair, crossing her legs casually. "Actually, we've been busy calculating exactly how many ways we could end this confrontation. Would you like to know the current count?" Vexthor's crystalline form vibrated with what might have been amusement or anger. It was hard to tell with Valdorians. "Your species' arrogance is remarkable. Our scanners show your defensive capabilities. Your ships lack even basic quantum shielding." "Interesting assumption," Maya replied. She nodded to Lieutenant Chen, who activated a subtle subroutine in the ship's systems. Across the Valdorian fleet, their scanning systems would now be receiving carefully crafted false data, showing exactly what humanity wanted them to see. "Perhaps a demonstration is in order," Maya continued. "Lieutenant, activate the Prometheus protocol." Throughout the bridge, her crew began suppressing smiles. The Prometheus protocol wasn't a weapon. It was an elaborate show, designed specifically for first contact situations with hostile species. What happened next would be remembered in Valdorian military academies for generations to come. The space between the two fleets suddenly lit up with a cascade of quantum distortions. To the Valdorian sensors, it would appear as if the fabric of space-time itself was being rewritten. In reality, it was an elaborate holographic display combined with precise gravitational manipulations. Impressive, but far from humanity's actual capabilities. "Impossible," Vexthor breathed, his crystalline form shifting colors rapidly. "Your technology level. You couldn't possibly." "Oh, that." Maya waved her hand dismissively. "That's just our way of getting your attention. Would you like to see what happens when we actually try?" The quantum distortions intensified, and suddenly every Valdorian ship's weapons system registered as offline. Their quantum communications networks began experiencing inexplicable delays. Strange energy readings appeared and disappeared at random throughout their fleet. "What you're experiencing right now is approximately 1% of our actual capabilities," Maya explained, her voice calm and professional. "We've been watching your empire expand for the past decade, Supreme Commander. We've observed how you treat less advanced civilizations. We let you approach Earth because we wanted to deliver a message. The galaxy is changing. The era of conquest is over." Vexthor's command staff was in chaos now, trying desperately to understand how their supposedly inferior opponents had completely neutralized their fleet without firing a single shot. The Supreme Commander himself remained silent, his crystalline form now a pale, almost translucent shade of blue, a sign of extreme distress in Valdorian physiology. "Here's what's going to happen next," Maya continued. You're going to order your fleet to return to Valdorian space. Then you're going to contact every civilization you've conquered in the past 50 years and begin negotiating their independence. If you don't, we'll demonstrate 2% of our capabilities. I don't think you want that." The silence that followed was broken only by the subtle hum of the Hyperion systems. Finally, Vexthor spoke, his translator struggling to convey the complex harmonics of his crystalline voice. You knew we were coming. You let us approach. This entire confrontation was a teaching moment. Maya finished for him. Humanity has learned that sometimes the best way to prevent a war is to demonstrate why it would be unwinnable. Now shall we discuss those independence negotiations? Supreme Commander Vexthor's retreat had been too clean, too orderly. Commander Maya Rodriguez knew this as she stood in the Hyperion's Strategic Command Center, studying the quantum probability maps that stretched across the holographic display. The Valdorian fleet had withdrawn exactly as demanded, but something about their energy signatures felt wrong. "They're planning something," Admiral Marcus Kane said from the other end of the quantum link, his weathered face floating in the air beside the tactical displays. "The Valdorians have conquered 12 systems in the past 3 decades. They don't just walk away." Maya nodded, manipulating the holographic data with practiced gestures. "Our deep space sensors detected unusual quantum fluctuations in the Kuiper belt. They left something behind." The room's lighting shifted subtly as the Hyperion's AI, Prometheus, manifested its avatar, a shifting pattern of geometric shapes that spoke with a voice like distant thunder. "Analysis complete, Commander." The Valdorians deployed approximately 3,000 automated probe units before their withdrawal. They are attempting to map our actual defensive capabilities. Lieutenant Chen, who had been quiet until now, looked up from his neural interface. "They're calling our bluff." "No," Maya corrected, a slight smile playing at her lips. "They're walking right into our trap." "Admiral, requesting permission to execute Operation Mirror Lake." Kane's holographic avatar raised an eyebrow. "The Council authorized that." "It's a bit theatrical, isn't it?" "Theatrical is exactly what we need right now," Maya responded, bringing up a new set of tactical projections. "The Valdorians think they're being clever, trying to peek behind our curtain. Let's show them exactly what we want them to see." The Admiral sighed, but there was a glimmer of amusement in his eyes. "Very well, Commander. Operation Mirror Lake is authorized. Try not to break physics too badly." As the Admiral's image faded, Maya turned to her crew. "Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Act 2. Prometheus, begin the sequence." Throughout the solar system, humanity's true defensive network hummed to life. Not the public systems that any alien race could scan, but the real network. Quantum-entangled satellites, artificial microsingularities disguised as natural astronomical phenomena, and clouds of self-replicating nanites that had been hiding in plain sight as cosmic dust. The Valdorian probes never stood a chance. As they attempted to scan Earth's defenses, each one encountered carefully crafted illusions. Some detected massive energy signatures suggesting weapons that could crack planets. Others found evidence of temporal manipulation technology far beyond anything the Valdorians had imagined possible. Still others discovered what appeared to be tears in spacetime itself, hinting at humanity's supposed mastery over dimensional engineering. None of it was real, or at least, not in the way the Valdorians would think. "They're transmitting data back to their fleet," Chen reported, monitoring the quantum communications traffic. "Their encryption is good, but not good enough." Maya finished. "Prometheus, are you getting all this?" The AI's geometric form pulsed with subtle patterns. "Indeed, Commander." The Valdorians are responding exactly as predicted. Their probe data is causing considerable distress among their military leadership. However, there is an interesting development in their command structure. Maya leaned forward. "Show me." The tactical display shifted, focusing on a series of encrypted transmissions between Valdorian ships. The patterns were subtle, but to Maya's trained eye, They told a clear story. They're divided, she said, mostly to herself. Some of them want to retreat permanently, but others are convinced we're bluffing on a massive scale. Correct, Prometheus confirmed. Their military council is split. Supreme Commander Vexthor appears to be losing influence to a more aggressive faction led by Fleet Marshal Zarkax. Maya's expression hardened. This was both an opportunity and a danger. A divided enemy was easier to manipulate, but also more unpredictable. She had planned for this possibility, but it would require perfect timing. Lieutenant Chen, prepare a tight beam transmission to Admiral Kane. Tell him we need to accelerate the timetable for Phase 3. And get me a direct line to the quantum engineering lab at Titan Base. As her crew rushed to comply, Maya studied the latest probe data. The Valdorians were about to make a critical mistake, one that would either lead to a peaceful resolution or force humanity to reveal just how much they'd been holding back. The next few hours would determine which path they'd take. Prometheus, she said quietly, initiate the Lazarus Protocol. If they want to see what we're really capable of, let's give them a carefully edited preview. The AI's avatar flickered with what might have been anticipation. The Quantum Ghost Fleet, Commander. Exactly. Let's show them some ships that don't exist, doing things that should be impossible. Sometimes the best way to win a war is to convince your enemy that fighting would be futile, even if you have to bend reality a little to make your point. As the orders went out, Maya Rodriguez prepared herself for what would come next. The Valdorians thought they were being clever with their probes, but they were about to learn a harsh lesson about underestimating humanity's capacity for deception. The real question was whether they would learn this lesson the easy way, or if humanity would have to demonstrate just how much of their displayed capabilities weren't actually illusions after all. The quantum alert came at 300 Earth Standard Time. Commander Maya Rodriguez was in the middle of reviewing tactical simulations when Prometheus's avatar flared with urgent patterns. Multiple quantum ruptures detected, Commander. The Valdorian fleet has returned, but not as we expected. The tactical display transformed, showing thousands of Valdorian warships emerging from quantum space. But something was different about them. Their crystalline structures pulsed with a new kind of energy, and their formations were unlike anything in human records. They've modified their ships, Lieutenant Chen reported, his neural interface streaming data faster than ordinary human consciousness could process. They've integrated some kind of quantum phase technology. They think they've figured out how to counter our capabilities. Maya smiled. They've been busy. How many ships, Prometheus? 3,417 vessels, Commander. Led by Fleet Marshal Zarkax, Supreme Commander Vexthor appears to have been relieved of command. The bridge crew exchanged knowing looks. Everything was proceeding exactly according to the deeper layers of Operation Mirror Lake. The Valdorians had taken the bait, all of it. Open a channel, Maya ordered, straightening in her command chair. Let's hear what they have to say. The main display flickered to life, revealing Fleet Marshal Zarkax. Unlike Vexthor's elegant crystalline form, Zarkax's external structure was jagged and asymmetrical, a sign of numerous combat modifications in Valdorian physiology. His translator spoke with a harsh, grating tone. Commander Rodriguez, he said, managing to make her name sound like an insult. Your deceptions end today. We have analyzed your technological displays. Impressive illusions, but illusions nonetheless. Maya raised an eyebrow. You seem very confident about that, Fleet Marshal. Our probes revealed the truth behind your quantum distortion fields. We have adapted. Your tricks will not save you this time. Zarkax's crystalline form pulsed with aggressive energy patterns. Surrender now, or we will demonstrate real power. Maya leaned back in her chair, the picture of calm. Lieutenant Chen, are we recording this? Yes, Commander. Good. I want this preserved for future tactical studies. She turned back to Zarkax. Fleet Marshal, I'm going to tell you something that Supreme Commander Vexthor was beginning to understand. Everything you think you've learned about us, every weakness you believe you've discovered, every countermeasure you've developed. We wanted you to find them. The Valdorian fleet began moving into attack formation, their modified ships creating complex geometric patterns in space. Maya noticed they were specifically arranged to counter the capabilities they thought they'd discovered. Your arrogance blinds you, Zarkax snarled. Our fleet now outnumbers yours 100 to 1. We have nullified your quantum advantages. You cannot maintain this bluff any longer. Maya's smile widened slightly. Prometheus, initiate the Herodotus Protocol. Across the solar system, humanity's true defensive grid activated. Not the fake one they'd allowed the Valdorian probes to detect, not even the more sophisticated systems they'd hinted at, but the real network. Quantum entanglement fields that had been disguised as background radiation suddenly synchronized. Artificial intelligence nodes hidden in asteroid clusters came online. And most importantly, the true nature of humanity's ships began to reveal itself. The TNS Hyperion shimmered, its apparent structure dissolving to reveal its actual form. A vessel that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously, its hull composed of materials that defied conventional physics. You see, Fleet Marshal, Maya explained as the Valdorian sensors struggled to comprehend what they were detecting. Everything we showed you before was carefully calculated. We showed you impossible weapons, so you developed countermeasures against the wrong things. We displayed fake quantum technology, so you'd waste resources adapting to capabilities we never intended to use. And now, she didn't need to finish the sentence. Throughout the Valdorian fleet, ships began losing power as their modified systems encountered phenomena they weren't designed to handle. Their new quantum phase technology, developed to counter what they thought was humanity's advantage, was worse than useless against humanity's actual capabilities. Impossible, Zarkax whispered, his crystalline form losing color. Our analysis, the probe data, was exactly what we wanted you to see, Maya finished for him. This is why Supreme Commander Vexthor was starting to withdraw. He realized that if what we were showing publicly was meant to be seen, our actual capabilities must be. She let the thought hang in the air as several Valdorian ships began experiencing cascade failures in their modified systems. They had built their entire strategy on countering an elaborate deception, never considering that the deception itself might be multi-layered. Last chance, Fleet Marshal, Maya said, her voice carrying genuine sympathy. You can order your fleet to stand down, or we can demonstrate why hiding our true capabilities wasn't about deception. It was about preventing unnecessary loss of life. The silence that followed was broken only by the sound of failing systems throughout the Valdorian fleet. Their elaborate formations, designed to counter imaginary weapons, now left them perfectly vulnerable to humanity's actual technological advantages. Maya watched the tactical display, knowing that the next few moments would determine whether this encounter would end in peaceful resolution or become a harsh lesson in the dangers of underestimating humanity. Either way, the galaxy was about to learn why Earth had survived countless first contact scenarios, not through overwhelming force, but through the artful combination of strategic deception and carefully restrained power. Fleet Marshal Zarkax's crystalline form had taken on a deep, turbulent purple, a color that Lieutenant Chen's xenobiology display identified as indicating extreme cognitive distress. The massive Valdorian fleet hung in space, their modified ships now more liability than advantage, as their commanders faced a reality they hadn't prepared for. Your ship, Zarkax spoke finally, his translator struggling to convey the complex harmonics of his distressed crystalline resonance. It exists in how many dimensions simultaneously? Commander Maya Rodriguez kept her expression neutral. That's classified information, Fleet Marshal, though I will say you're asking the wrong question. The real question is, why did we let you think you could match our technology? The tactical display showed increasing instability throughout the Valdorian fleet. Their rushed modifications, designed to counter what they thought was humanity's greatest advantage, were now causing cascading failures across their neural networks. Ships were losing power, Weapon systems were cycling between online and offline, and their much-vaunted quantum phase technology was creating dangerous resonance patterns. "Commander," Prometheus interrupted, its geometric avatar pulsing with urgency. "3 Valdorian heavy cruisers are experiencing critical quantum core destabilization. Their containment fields are failing." Maya leaned forward. "Fleet Marshal, you have ships in distress. Allow us to assist before." "No." Zarkax's voice cracked with harmonics of pride and fear. "The Valdorian Empire does not accept help from." The first explosion cut him off mid-sentence. A heavy cruiser on the fleet's outer edge erupted in a spectacular display of quantum energy, its crystalline structure shattering into dimensional fragments. The blast wave threatened to trigger similar reactions in nearby vessels. "Prometheus, emergency containment protocols," Maya ordered. "Lieutenant Chen, prepare rescue drones." "Belay that order," Zarkax commanded, but his authority was already crumbling. Across the Valdorian command channel, which the Hyperion systems could easily monitor, voices of dissent were rising. "Fleet Marshal, we're losing the Dawnbreaker. The modifications are backfiring. We should never have attempted this." The humans were right. Maya watched as the Valdorian command structure began to fragment. This was the inevitable result of their hierarchical, pride-driven military culture. When faced with overwhelming technological superiority, their inability to admit error became their greatest weakness. "Attention all Valdorian vessels," she broadcast on their command frequency. "This is Commander Rodriguez. Your modified quantum cores are destabilizing. We can prevent further loss of life, but you must power down your phase technology immediately. This is not a negotiation. This is about survival." The second explosion emphasized her point. Another cruiser succumbed to quantum destabilization, its destruction even more spectacular than the first. The blast wave rippled through subspace, causing alarming fluctuations in nearby ships' power systems. "We're detecting quantum cascade failures beginning in 17 more vessels," Prometheus reported. "Time to critical mass. 3 minutes, 42 seconds. On the main screen, Zarkax's crystalline form had become almost transparent, a sign of extreme psychological stress in Valdorian physiology. His next words came not through the official translator, but through a direct neural link, a sign of desperation. "How?" he asked simply. "How did you predict we would do this?" Maya's response was calm but firm. "Because pride and aggression are predictable, Fleet Marshal. We knew you wouldn't accept your first defeat. We knew you'd analyze our capabilities, think you'd found our weaknesses, and return with countermeasures. So we showed you exactly what we wanted you to see." The third explosion rocked the Valdorian fleet. This time, the voices of dissent could not be silenced. Lower-ranking commanders began ordering their ships to power down, ignoring Zarkax's increasingly desperate commands to maintain formation. "Commander Rodriguez," a new voice cut through the chaos. It belonged to Sub-Commander-like Still, Zarkax's second-in-command. "Request immediate technical assistance. We cannot control the cascade reactions." Maya nodded to her crew. "Prometheus, deploy quantum stabilization fields. Lieutenant Chen, launch rescue operations. Let's show them what humanity's technology can do, and we're helping instead of defending." As the Hyperion's true capabilities went to work saving the very fleet that had come to destroy them, Maya reflected on the irony of the situation. The Valdorians had pushed themselves to the brink of destruction simply because they couldn't accept that a younger civilization might be more advanced than they were. "Fleet Marshal," she said, noting that Zarkax's command ship was among those beginning to show signs of quantum instability. "I suggest you order an immediate stand-down of all combat systems, unless you prefer to explain to your high command how you lost half your fleet to your own modifications." The silence that followed was broken only by the sound of rescue operations beginning across the fleet. Humanity's quantum stabilization fields deployed with precision, containing the cascade failures and preventing further explosions. The Valdorian ships, Their proud crystalline structures, now dimmed and powerless, could only watch as their supposed technological inferiors saved them from their own hubris. The quantum stabilization process took 6 hours. Throughout that time, Commander Maya Rodriguez watched as humanity's rescue teams methodically saved ship after ship of the very fleet that had come to conquer them. The irony wasn't lost on the Valdorians either. Their command channels were unusually quiet, filled only with technical communications and subdued status reports. Final stabilization sequence complete. Prometheus announced, its geometric form displaying patterns of completion. All Valdorian vessels are now secure. Total casualties, 27 from the initial explosions. We prevented the loss of approximately 15,000 lives. Fleet Marshal Zarkax had been silent for the past hour, his crystalline form still pale and translucent. When he finally spoke, his translator conveyed a tone that no human had ever heard from a Valdorian leader before: humility. "Commander Rodriguez," he said, "the Valdorian Empire." He paused, his crystalline structure shifting slightly. "I request a private channel." Maya nodded to Lieutenant Chen, who configured the secure quantum link. The main display now showed only Zarkax's command center, where his senior staff had respectfully moved out of earshot. "In 300 years of expansion," Zarkax began, "the Empire has never encountered a civilization like yours. We believed our technological superiority was absolute. We thought your initial display of power was a bluff. Then we thought we had discovered your true capabilities. But even then, you were seeing what we wanted you to see." Maya finished for him. "Every step of the way." Yes, the Valdorian leader's crystalline form rippled with what might have been resignation. "But it's more than that, isn't it? Your technology, your strategies, they're not just advanced. They're mature." Maya allowed herself a small smile. "We've had a lot of practice, Fleet Marshal. Earth has faced potential invaders before. Each time, we've chosen to demonstrate our power through restraint rather than destruction. It's why we're still here, and it's why your fleet is still here too." The tactical display showed the Valdorian ships slowly regaining power, but only their basic systems, their dangerous modifications permanently disabled by humanity's quantum stabilization protocols. They were alive, but no longer a threat. "The High Command will want answers," Zarkax said. "They will want to know everything about your capabilities, your defenses." "Tell them the truth," Maya suggested. "Tell them you encountered a civilization that could have destroyed your fleet at any moment, but chose to save it instead. Tell them that humanity's greatest weapon isn't our technology. It's our ability to use it wisely." Admiral Kane's quantum projection appeared beside Maya's chair, adding his voice to the conversation. "Fleet Marshal, humanity is extending an offer to the Valdorian Empire. We propose a technological exchange program, not of weapons or defenses, but of medical science, sustainable energy, and space exploration technology. Show your people there's more to advancement than conquest." Zarkax's crystalline form began to regain some of its original color. "You would share technology with us. After we try to. That's what mature civilizations do," Maya explained. "We advance together, or we destroy ourselves separately. It's a lesson Earth learned the hard way, long ago." The next few hours were filled with diplomatic communications as the framework for peace was established. The Valdorian fleet, once proud and aggressive, now hung in space as a testament to the futility of technological arrogance. But more importantly, they represented an opportunity, a chance to turn an enemy into an ally. As the final agreements were being transmitted, Lieutenant Chen looked up from his neural interface. "Commander, I'm detecting unusual quantum signatures from the Valdorian ships. They're removing their weapon systems. Voluntarily." Maya nodded approvingly. "They're learning. Prometheus, begin preparations for Phase 1 of the technology exchange. Let's show them what's possible when we work together instead of against each other." The AI's avatar pulsed with what might have been satisfaction. "Indeed, Commander." Shall I include the educational materials about our early history, about how humanity nearly destroyed itself before learning these same lessons? Yes, Maya decided. They should understand where we came from to appreciate where we're going. Fleet Marshal, she addressed Zarkax one final time. Welcome to a new era of cooperation. Your empire's strength was in conquest. Humanity's strength is in understanding when not to use our power. Together, we might find a balance that benefits everyone. As the Valdorian fleet prepared for their return journey, this time as potential allies rather than conquered foes, Maya Rodriguez reflected on the events that had brought them to this point. The galaxy was changing, not through force of arms or technological superiority, but through the wisdom to know when to hold back, when to help, and when to extend a hand in friendship. Prometheus, she said quietly, send a message to Earth Command. Tell them Operation Mirror Lake was a success, but not for the reasons we originally planned. Sometimes the best victory isn't the one you achieve through strength, but the one you win through understanding. The stars seemed to shine a little brighter as humanity chalked up another successful first contact, not through the destruction of an enemy, but through the creation of a potential friend. It was, Maya thought, exactly the kind of victory that truly advanced civilizations should strive for.